Sir, nako-confuse lang ako dun sa ano, paki-clarify lang po yung earlier na sinabi nyo na walang irregular doon sa budget data and that, yun nga, hindi enough ito to file a case. So why is there a big deal
Okay,
on this data?
kung maaari ko pong ipaliwanag. Kung meron 20 billion peso budget ang isang distrito sa isang taon o 60 billion peso budget sa 4 na taon, that's not enough. But it's worth asking. Kung ang ibang mga distrito ay may 10 billion at ang ibang mga distrito naman ay may 30, 40, 50, 60 billion, bakit? At saka, ano ba ang status ng 30, 40, 50 or 60 billion pesos na mga proyekto sa isang distrito? Kung substandard sila, baka nagkaroon ng maanumalyang transaksyon. Sino ba yung contractor? Ano ang koneksyon ng proponent sa contractor? Yan ang investigative work na dapat gawin ng ICI at Ombudsman. Ako po ay mambabatas at isinisiwalat ko po ito in aid of legislation, lalong-lalo dahil ngayon ang budget season at matagal ko na pong uh, pinapanukala na dapat ang budget allocation ay hindi based on discretion, kung hindi based on an equation like land area population. Tulad po ng ating national tax allotment. Dahil pag may discretion, ang aking pananaw ay yan ang nag-give rise sa bentahan ng budget na yun naman din po ay napatunayan. Pero I'll give one example of a maanomalyang budget allocation. Sa aking sariling distrito, ginawa ko na nga po ang investigasyon. Meron pong mga projects na naitukoy sa mga files ay allocable mula sa district representative. At ang mga contractors ng mga allocable projects, sila ang malapit sa dating representante ng aking distrito. Ang iba ay kanyang mga uh, kinakapatid o inaanak. At ang outside allocable naman sa aking distrito, kabilang po doon ang mga proyekto na nasa leadership list ni Yusek Cabral. At ang iba naman ay nasa Senti 20 list ni Yusek Cabral. At yun yung sinabi ko nung Nobyembre pa, na ayon sa mga listahan ni Yusek Cabral, tila na may pre-ordering ng mga proyekto sa DPWH-NEP. So, I gave an example kasi alam ko sa sarili kong distrito, may 6 na proyekto si Congressman Edwin Garjola. Dalawa sa mga proyektong ito ay nasa leadership. At paumanhin na lang po kung sino man si leadership. Pero gusto ko lang malaman sana bakit si leadership nagbigay ng 280 million pesos na pondo para sa 2 road projects sa Calatagan, Batangas. Alam ko po na may 2 road projects na ito. Marami nang pag-uusap sa Calatagan, Batangas kanino ang road projects na ito. At sa listahan ni Yusek Cabral, nakapangalan nga ito kay leadership. At meron din 4 na road projects sa Tuy, Batangas na kasama sa listahan ni Yusek Cabral sa Senti 20. At alam ko din po na ang 4 na road projects na ito ay kay Congressman Edwin Garjola kasi siya mismo ay kumausap sa akin tungkol sa mga proyektong ito. At doon ko nakita na may pre-ordering kasi nung August 2024 pa ang listahang ito, tapos na award sa mga kumpanyang konektado kay Congressman Edwin Garjola sa 2025, which gives rise for the ICI and the Ombudsman to investigate potential bid rigging for these 2 projects in the First District Engineering Office of Batangas. So I'm using that as an example for your general question. What are the anomalies in this list? It is the basis for the ICI and the Ombudsman to connect proponents to projects and investigate if there are transactions that result in the budget insertion turning into a contract awarded to a contractor.
Sir, did these things also happen in the 2026 budget?
Yes.
Um, as Vice Chair of the House Committee on Appropriations, what did you do about this?
By the way, yung sinasabi kong did these things happen in the 2026 budget insertions that are being hidden from the public, which I will say a bit more about later, have. And the projects have not yet been bid. Kaya baka maraming mga bid rigging ay mas-stop pa kung ma-bring to public attention ang practice na ito. Pero may isisiwalat pa ako mamaya tungkol sa mga budget insertions sa 2026.
Yes, sir.
And
Uh,
I'm just saying, in my own district, we're making sure walang lutuan ng bidding sa DPWH simula ngayon. Pero based on all the data that I've seen and all of the testimonies of people in the first district of Batangas, halos lahat ng mga bids ng DPWH sa aking distrito ay luto. At yun po ay tugma sa sinabi ni former Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo, at bahala na lang po kung gustong sabihin ng iba na iniimbento ko lang ito, na luto ang karamihan ng mga bidding sa DPWH, pero yan po ang aking masasabi ayon sa aking karanasan sa unang distrito ng Batangas.
yes, sir. I reiterate my question na as Vice Chair of the House Committee on Appropriations, what did you do about this?
Nagrereklamo po ako bakit hindi natin una isinasa publiko ang datos ng bawat distrito. Kaya nga ibinigay sa akin ang datos na ito. So ako po ay sinserong nagpapasalamat kay Sec Vince kasi noon hindi ito ibinibigay. Nung pumasok lang si Sec Vince, ibinigay sa akin ang datos na ito. Pero sana hindi lang ibigay sa akin, sana maisa publiko para makita ng ibang mga congressman din, kasi hindi nga buong kongreso may kopya nito. Pag makita ng ibang mga congressman ito, actually, favorable sa kanila. Makita nila all these years pala, mas maliit ang budget nila kaysa sa ibang mga distrito na mas maliit sa distrito nila. Magkakaroon talaga ng pagbabago sa sistema ng alokasyon ng budget basta may transparency kung ano ang nakukuhang budget ng bawat distrito. So my proposal is that the budget be allocated on an equation of land area and population. You can add other factors too if you want. It doesn't, my point is not what the equation should be. My point is that there should be an equation so that there is no discretion in selling of budgets. So that's what I've been advocating in Congress all this time. And I think that it has been taken into account to some extent, but more so the decrease in the CMPD and the DUPA was one progress that was achieved over the past few months, as you all know. I'm only responding to your question that as Vice Chair of APRO, that's one thing that I hope all of us in Congress can be proud of, na may konting progress naman po. Pero until we're transparent on the budget allocations, I think that there's low-hanging fruit that we can still achieve, which is why I wanted all of this to come out before the ratification of the BICAM.
Thank you, sir.
Sir? Marian from TV5. So sir, what's clear po is there's nothing irregular dun po sa mga pinost nyo, dun po sa dokumento, Cabral Files. What you're just pointing out is yung halaga po nung prioritization, ano? Yung sinasabi nyo po per district, bakit may malaki, bakit malaki yung pondo na pupunta sa kanila kahit maliit lang yung populasyon, and so on. And that's why you are lobbying.
Sigahan after the resignation. And until now, wala rin naman.
Sorry, I think there's a echo.
Yeah. That's why you're lobbying, and yun po yung pinush nyo nung kayo vice chair during the budget deliberations na dapat may equation, ano? There should be an equation. We get that. So walang irregular. What's irregular po talaga, highly irregular, is what you were saying during our last press con na meron po kayong kopya nung BICAM insertions nung 2025. And that's what what we've been asking for po, na sana isa publiko nyo na rin po. And what's stopping you sa paglalabas po nito?
Okay, several responses po. I don't want to be quoted as saying that there's nothing irregular about this budget file, but rather I want to invite the DPWH to comment and let people also draw their own conclusions. But if you ask my personal opinion, the inequitable distribution of budgets disregarding population and the needs of the people is irregular, especially when you see that there are small districts that have many times more the budgets of big districts like mine in Batangas and others in the country. I think it's highly irregular that the DPWH cannot explain why there are some districts that have 5 to 10 times the budget per capita of other districts, and why there is a correlation na nagkakataon yung distrito na may malaking budget ay distrito na maraming mga kontraktor. That in itself, in my opinion, is highly irregular. But the more irregular thing is when more details on the proponents come out. And you rightly point out that there's still more that I have yet to share on the proponents of the projects. If I can kindly note, first, as you can see, I'm posting something new every day. So I'm also working through the holidays to try and bring as much out as fast as we can. But that so there will be still more posted. But the allocable budget in itself is also irregular because the DPWH has been publicly stating that the NEP are projects of the DPWH and not proposed by congressmen. We were told not to use the word allocable during congressional budget hearings. Yusek Cabral had introduced that term to the public, and Secretary Manny Bonoan introduced the term leadership fund to the public. And apart from them, and I think Yusek Bernardo also mentioned allocables in his testimonies, the incumbent officials of the DPWH and in our hearings in Congress were all told, we're all refraining from using the word allocable. And we're all denying that congressmen have a say in the budgets in their districts in the DPWH budget. And are also denying that projects are submitted to be inserted into the NEP. And in the second part of this press con, I'm going to share some proof that projects are inserted in the NEP.
Projects are inserted in the NEP.
What's irregular is that projects are inserted into the NEP and that this is being denied when it is widely documented. And you can just ask other members of Congress and even their staff, this is what we do while the NEP is being prepared.
Yeah, I think that's proposals po ang tawag doon, not insertions, because
let me show you the proof later. What's irregular is that they deny it. I will show it later.
Anyway, sir, so how about the budget BICAM, yung hinihingi po namin?
I will show something later in this.
Sir, will that be the BICAM budget na po noong 2025?
There's still a lot more to show po. But again, the link of the proponent to the contractor is what the ICI and the Ombudsman will do when they have the files, which the DPWH already gave to them. And that's where you see the more glaring irregularities. But in my opinion, the fact that the DPWH can't explain how 3.5 trillion pesos was allocated based on a formula they claim they don't understand is irregular. The people deserve to know how that 3.5 trillion pesos was allocated. By the way, I still haven't also touched on how the 214 billion pesos of unprogrammed appropriations was allocated to DPWH projects, because those projects are supposedly priority projects. And I think you will see when we also get to that, which we don't have time for today, that even the selection of the so-called priority projects for the 214 billion pesos of unprogrammed appropriations is also irregular. So please don't interpret what I'm saying as that there's nothing irregular. I'm just inviting others to comment first. But in my opinion, the whole budget allocation of DPWH is irregular, especially because the new DPWH secretary says that he does not understand Yusek Cabral's system of allocables, and yet this is still the basis for the 2026 budget.